Alright guys, this is Garrett with two guys and a few good swordfishes. With the new Pokemon game coming out, I kinda want to do a tier list. I see these on YouTube all the time, so I figured why not put them on our page. If you like it, let me know. If you don't, if you think it's stupid, still let me know so I can make more. Alright, so going into these games, we got Sword and Shield coming out, a lot of controversy with it, getting rid of a lot of the Mons, and I want to talk about that throughout the generation and why these games are good or bad in my opinion. So starting up, we've got Red and Blue. Red and Blue get an easy A list. They're nostalgic. They're good. They have their glitches. What else can you say? They're the original game. And then you got Yellow. I classify Yellow as an S tier. The only reason I do that is because it was probably one of my favorite games growing up. It was great having Pikachu follow you. You had an electric Pokemon. You could still get Charizard. You could still get all of them, I believe. And it was all around fun because you kind of had a Pikachu with you the whole time, and it felt like you actually had somebody that would follow you and actually fight battles with you. And he had special animation too, where he looked like he was hopping off your shoulder. It was just really cool. It was something that they innovated, and I wish that they kept up with. They did not, but they will bring it back, and we'll get to that eventually here. So next up, we've got Gold and Silver. As I move this down here, because that's definitely not where it's supposed to go. Silly Garrett. We got Gold and Silver. These hit my S tier. By far, one of my favorite Pokemon games out there. And we'll get back into it again, but there's so much to do. You have the whole world of Kanto, you have the whole world of Johto. There's, over 300 or something Pokemon to catch. It was fun. They introduced some new game strategies like the bike path, or I mean they had the bike path, but they had the train, so you can go back and forth. You got to face 2 Elite Fours, you got to face 16 gym battles. It was a challenge, and it was a hike, and it was a game that you could get through in a while, but not like Red and Blue, where it was like you could get through that in a day if you really tried, or even faster, as obviously. These were a little bit more challenging in the sense that you had to beat more gyms. Now, I will say that this one was not needed. Crystal. I played it. I don't know why, but I felt like these two were better. I had my own Crystal that I got from Zia when I was working there. It just didn't play as good as that. I don't know why. It's the same exact game. I guess maybe the storyline in it. And the dog, so it's like, why wouldn't you just make them easier to catch in this one? But yeah, so that's on my B tier. Now Sapphire and Ruby, oh man, they're gonna get a D tier. All of these, I'll give them a C. I will give them a C, a solid C. They were good, but they weren't like these guys. They introduced a lot of new Pokemon, a lot of new strategies, and it felt like this was like a tipping point for Pokemon. And we'll get into that in a few seconds here with the rest of these. But this is where I feel like I started falling off as a Pokemon fan. Maybe I was getting older, I don't know, but these just weren't fun to me. Leaf Green and Fire Red, Bees, they're the same ones as these guys. They're going to keep dropping each time. I'm going to tell you that right now. Every remake for Gen 1 is going to get dropped a little bit more. So, not really going to go into that one. Now, Diamond and Pearl, I'm not sure if they are the ones that come first or if it's Black and White. But actually, I'm just going to make an example out of these. I really didn't like Black and White or Diamond and Pearl. I'd like Diamond and Pearl a little better because there's a couple of Pokemon that were introduced, but these guys right here were just like the same exact game. Same with these guys. Really sad that happened that way because they introduced these legendaries in this one, in these guys, but they were in 2. So there was Black, White, and there was Black, White, and 2, I believe. Yes. I just didn't like the lore. The lore in these guys, I didn't mind it for Diamond and Pearl. These guys were just so flat. I thought the animation was kind of stupid on them. It was kind of cool, but not really. It wasn't that turned my head to. So that being said, going into the next one, we have Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Easily my favorite games in the entire series, and that maybe is because it's the peak of when I was liking Pokemon and getting cards and everything, that I like these Silver and Gold games. But this one was really cool because they allowed you to have a Pokemon follow you at all times. So if you had a Pokemon that you caught, it would follow you if it was the first Pokemon in your party. Also had a really cool pedometer where you could carry your Pokemon with you. You could also count steps. It was a really cool game, and it came out for the 3DS, and that's the first game I got for 3DS. I was so behind on getting a 3DS. I got it when the DS. That right when the 3DS came out, that's when I got a DS, and I got these two games. I got Soul Silver at work at Zia, and I can just tell you that I've played that game over at least 12 times. Easily 12 times. So this was probably one of my favorite games of all time. Now, not saying that, you know, these guys didn't match up the two before it, but this was just an updated version. It was really cool. So leading up to when the 3DS came out, we have X and Y. Now I'll give X and Y a solid A because they were fun. They were a new generation. This was the first time I got to use a 3DS, so like throwing the Pokeball and catching them with your, with the motion tracker, or, rubbing Pokemon on the head. Like, you could do that with the DS, but the 3DS added a lot more fun things to do. And I like the Pokemon that they added in this. I think that this is the last Pokemon game that I really liked, where they dropped off the Pokemon. They weren't too cartoonish. They were kind of like back in the day. But as I said to somebody that was talking about Pokemon, they're running out of Pokemon to do, and creatures, and so. But those get solid A's. Now for Sun and Moon, I'm going to go to that one first. That's another one that I will give. I'll give a solid. No, I'm going to give it a. I'm going to give it a B. I'm going to give it a B because it was fun. It was also like a new region, but I forgot that the gym leaders in it, there were no gym leaders, there were just trials. I think there was 5 trials that you got to do, or 7 trials. And they had an Elite Four, but the Elite Four was so easy. Oh my god. Same with X and Y, but still a fun game. But these guys were just, everything was way too easy in this game. It was like they dropped it from like a hardness level of a 7 to a 2. And it was just not fun. Next up we've got, I'm going to throw them at B. These are better than the originals. Sapphire and Ruby, they did Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. They did a different timeline, so there's a lot more stuff in this that was different and really connected the worlds of like the older versions and the newer versions, Sun and Moon, because they had time shifts in that as well. So I really like that they did that. I like that there was an end story that you could do once you were done, and all around it wasn't a bad game. I hated these for the DS. Frickin' hated them. The worst. But these I was pretty okay with. They're pretty good. Now Ultra Moon and Ultra Sun, I'm gonna give them a C because they're another cash grab remake, and Sun and Moon were okay on their own, but to make both of them like a whole new game, they added some more stuff into it. But honestly, I wasn't a big fan of the Ultra Beast, and that's all they really added was a bunch more Ultra Beasts able to be caught, and some more items. Nothing really cool. Wasn't really worth buying. I can't remember. I believe I did. I think I bought Ultra Moon and played it and just put it down after a while because it was the same as Moon almost. So They go in the solid C area. Now this is going to surprise some people because I put them each time down, but I'm going to give Pokemon, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee a C. The reason why is because, for one, it's another Gen 1 remake, and not that there's anything wrong with them, but there's not a lot to do in the Gen 1, and most people have already played them in some form of a Game Boy Advanced or a Game Boy. I mean, retro gaming is huge nowadays. So I didn't really like these. It was cool that you got the 3DS, or not the 3DS, the Switch, and you could kind of throw balls with your hands, and you could team up with your friends, but it was so easy. I mean, if you had a partner in this game, you blasted through everybody. It was super easy, barely a challenge. I feel like most Pokemon trainers had like one Pokemon or two Pokemon, and barreling through them because of experience shares just, it would be too easy. And every time, even without experience share, at least one of my Pokemon were just getting massive boosts in strength, and I could lead with them and win any match. So, but that being said, the new Pokemon comes out, I believe, the 22nd. I believe that's a Tuesday next week. And are you going to be getting it? I'm probably going to be getting it once it comes to Zia, and it's marked down as a used price. And I probably won't be paying full price just because I feel like I have no problem with the new game. I'm excited for the new variants and a new world, just like when we were talking about Sun and Moon and X and Y. Those were completely new worlds, and it was fun. These guys, not so much. But anyways, this has been Garrett with Two Guys and a Few Good Swordfishes, and thank you for listening. Comment below which you thought your tier was, or at least your S tier. So, love you guys. Later.